Go ahead.
Hey, we're back here with comedian and sports podcaster Jason Lawhead. He's from Lorain, Ohio, which I've been to, and it makes Cleveland look like Malibu, all right?
That was Lawhead doing me.
I love meatballs, I gotta tell you. Meatballs.
That's fantastic. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, man. I've
A
always
lot
been
of
a fan.
a lot of people try to do me. I heard Bobby Kelly, the comic. I haven't heard it yet. Does a great impression of me. I got to hear that.
Oh, really?
But I can't imagine being much better than that.
Thanks, man.
You get the grain.
Yeah, you gotta get it right back here, you know what I mean?
It sounds like you're hurting.
Like you just smoked 4 cigarettes. And then you always come, like when you're like telling, you're gonna come down at the end there. Hey, right, yeah. So you're from Cleveland.
Perfect. It really sounds like I'm always like on a wiretap or something. I'm getting scared. So I'm gonna meet you by the time. I'm gonna meet you by the.
You're gonna meet him in the dumpster.
And you're gonna come with Danny and Anthony. Right? Is Anthony coming?
Yeah, like and I love to do voices. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I love to do it, but I don't do it in my act because I want people to know who I am.
Well, no. Here's the thing. Do you consider that hacky to do impressions?
No, I
because
don't.
you shouldn't.
I don't consider
if it's
it
a
hacky.
talent you have. A lot of comics, a lot of these uppity guys will say, "Oh, it's hacky." No,
No.
no, it's not.
If it's funny, it's funny.
Yeah,
I understand that. My thing about that is, I obviously doing stand-up, doing stand-up, you want people to know who you are.
Oh, no, you're right.
You know what I mean? All the time. And sometimes that could get blanketed. And the other thing is you got to constantly write that other person. Well, I'm not always, you have to be funny to do impressions.
Right.
I mean, you can't just do the voice. It gets
Well,
old
that's where it
after a
becomes
while.
hacky. If you just put them in. The impression itself isn't.
Right.
The situation you put them in could be
Exactly.
hacky. Right. And
Right.
Jack
So-
Nicholson at the post office.
Yeah. Like, so you always have to try to write that, and you have to be careful on what you're writing because you don't want to just churn out material so you can do the voice.
Right.
I mean?
Exactly.
So I enjoyed doing my comedy, what I think of and how I reflect a little bit. And the voices are just fun to do in radio and with my buddies and
See,
stuff.
I like impressions like that because it might not be dead on, but it's funny. Like I love impressionists who pick one crazy aspect of somebody and exploit it, like go nuts with it.
Right.
And that's what you just did. Like get that grainy thing and just have fun with it. I like that more than a dead on impression.
Right, exactly. Like
Phil Hartman used to do impressions that they were just funny impressions. They weren't like dead on. Like he didn't do a dead on Clinton.
His Sinatra wasn't great, but
Or
he
dead
made
on
it
Sinatra,
amazing
right.
because how angry he got.
Yeah, he focused on that one thing.
Of guys like you in my stool.
Well,
You know what I
that's-
mean? He does that kind
Well,
of stuff.
that's when it becomes satire and not parody.
Right,
It becomes
right.
smarter.
Right.
But I agree completely. It could be a lot of fun. But some guys, just put Gilbert Gottfried in his original act.
got
I
some
think he
great
still does.
voices.
He still does. But he would do the ironic version, like the anti. Like he would do. Here's Humphrey Bogart at the post office. So he would do a big physical setup, and he would just go stamps. That's
hilarious.
all it was, yeah.
He does a great Seinfeld too.
Oh my God! Well,
His
that's what I mean.
Seinfeld.
Amazing. Who are these people?
Have you heard Jay Moore do Harvey Keitel?
Yes.
Unreal. I just heard it on
I was in the
Bill
same
Burr's podcast.
hotel as them. I was in the other room.
Oh my God.
No.
It
sounds funny though.
was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Jay
when I
does a
heard it.
lot of great.
He does a lot of great ones, but I
Yeah.
never heard him do Keitel until a little bit ago on Bill's podcast, and I was just
Well,
like,
Keitel, I mean, you get kind of like, listen, I started Short Song Trilogy years ago, and it's a fabulous, wonderful thing to just let out that kind of creativity. If you get the gravelly voice, you can kind of throw it in. Do you know who Harvey...
Sure.
Oh, no, wait. Harvey
Keitel's Reservoir Dogs.
I was doing Harvey Feinstein.
This guy? No.
I was just doing
Harvey
Harvey
Feinstein.
I was doing
that's
Harvey
classic.
Firestein. That's exactly. What am I doing? Harvey Firestein?
Yeah, the
What's his
Broadway
name?
actor.
Yeah.
Firestein?
Firestone.
Yeah, I know who Harvey Keitel is, but I didn't know who that was.
No. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. I thought you meant the gay guy.
Harvey Firestein was the makeup guy in Mrs. Doubtfire.
No.
Right. He put Doubtfire's makeup on. He was the gay guy. Oh,
Mrs.
my God.
right.
Let's do that. Ready? I'll be Harvey
yeah.
Firestein. Mrs. Goutfire, listen, I just did your makeup, and unfortunately, you still look a lot like Barbara Bush.
Oh, that's okay, Arthur, because I'm sorry, because that was a great job, because I look fine.
Listen, Mrs. Doubtfire, why do you say because all the time?
It's just a thing with us because once we get stuck on something, it just stays in the palate, and
Is that how you get into your character by saying because, sweetheart?
It just stays with you, Arthur. It's like a fragrance. It just stays in the.
Like what fragrance stays with you? Like when I'm over there, I smell like Privalone.
Oh, Old English, of course, Arthur, because that's my favorite.
What type of cologne do you use, Mrs. Doubtfire?
Dracar.
Dracar.
Yes, it's quite good because James the board up uses that too. He loves Dracar. James is his name.
Who?
Jimmy over there. With
Jimmy.
Yes, James.
What? Now Harvey Keitel. No, Harvey Keitel
was Reservoir Dogs. Come on, man! He shot the guy. Bang, 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 bang. That guy, right? He's a taxi driver, right?
Yeah, Harvey Keitel and Bad Lieutenant.
But he did one. And who does a Harvey Keitel? I heard it recently. I'm like, God, it was sickening. I thought I was listening to
it. The thing I remember about Harvey Keitel and Reservoir Dogs is when he's in the car talking to the undercover guy, English guy. The guy gets shot in the stomach.
Tim Roth.
Yeah, Tim Roth.
Great actor.
And he's talking about it. Goes,
Oh, Timmy. Now I'm quite well, Arthur, because we've done a lot of stuff in the London productions, because Timmy's a great chap, because he's awesome.
You're not gonna die!
Can you tell a joke, Mrs. Doubtfire?
I'll try, Arthur, because...
Yeah, tell a joke.
Why did the chicken cross the road? Why? Get to the other side, ha-ha. Mrs. Doubtfire...
That was the most acceptable dead air I've ever heard on television.
You have no idea. You should have heard last week. Keitel, when he's talking to Tim Roth when they're staking out the bank, and he's like, the bank manager gives you any crap, cut off one of his fingers. After that, he'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just cut off a thumb or something like that. That speech is amazing.
That's a great riff. And then when he's driving him while he's bleeding in the back, you're not gonna die! You're not gonna die! You're not gonna die! You're not gonna die!
You're okay! Everything's okay! Everything's all right, you're not gonna die! And then he keeps his word, he brings him to a warehouse and leaves him alone with, what's his face?
Yeah.
Cuts a cop's ear off.
Michael Madsen.
Oh. That guy, Michael Madsen, plays some of the darkest characters.
Doesn't he? Yeah. A lot of them. One of them's called Michael Madsen.
Yeah, then he does something like that where he like buries somebody alive, cuts off an ear, and then he's in Free Willy. Like, that's Hollywood for you.
That's Hollywood.
So you're in New York to do specifically the action.
Yeah, I was able to get in Monday night. I did the Stand on Monday at 10. I did 2 spots at Gotham last night. I did the 8 o'clock at the Stand tonight.
Stand's a great club.
Stand's a great club. We had a great lineup on there tonight. I was on the show with like Janine Garofalo. Earthquake was on the show.
Was he? Oh,
yeah, he kills.
Earthquake.
I mean, I remember I told Earthquake too. I even brought him up like that. And I said, when I first started doing stand-up like 10 years ago in Cleveland, and I was just like a guy that was just trying to write a joke. And I went to see this Earthquake at the Improv.
Yeah.
And this guy killed so hard. I even told him, I'm like, I thought about quitting right then and there. I was just like, I'll never have enough lifetime.
It's like that
to
story.
Get that good.
That story Eric Clapton saw Hendrix play and he cried or something like that.
Yeah.
But Earthquake again. I've said this before. His HBO half hour from about 10 years ago has one of my favorite punchlines, jokes of all time when he's talking about John Kerry's married to Teresa Hines, and she is the person who owns all the, what do they call it? Condiments and everything.
Condiments, yeah.
And the joke is like, if I had that kind of money, you wouldn't get me to be president. I'd just be by the pool. I'd do nothing. The joke is, hey, John Kerry, you want to run for president? Damn, my bitch owned ketchup. Every time brother order French fries, ka-ching.
That's hilarious.
When he said my bitch owned ketchup for the first time, I laughed like I almost threw up my lungs. President? Damn, my bitch owned ketchup. You know what's great about that joke is it's true. His bitch owns ketchup.
All of it.
Like
worldwide.
You got Hunt's maybe has a little bit of the market share.
No.
Maybe a little bit of Hunt's ketchup.
Hunt's is like
compares.
the Pabst Blue Ribbon of ketchup. It's got a little bit of,
I mean, Heinz is it's ketchup and mustard, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're branching out into relish. How about the relish? There's a great Mad Men episode where they're trying to get Heinz ketchup, and the only thing they can get is the relish side of the business. And the guy who runs relish for Heinz is like so second banana. He's like, "You're not just using me to get the ketchup, are you?"
It's funny. I've never seen that show, and I hear nothing but great things about it.
You know what? It's amazing.
It was so cool to see Lavelle. I saw him in the hallway. You know, him and Bill did Breaking Bad. They were kind of like partners in crime.
Oh, that's right.
And, matter of fact, the seat's still warm from him. But anyway, it was great to see him, and those guys were great in that.
Yeah.
Together, it was so good to see like guys that just are great stand-up comics be able to go in that environment with guys like Bryan Cranston and these other actors, and with a script so refined like that,
dark and crazy.
Yeah, and be great at it. I mean, those guys were great at it. It was
gotta,
just like inspiring.
You got to see Mad Men, man. You'll love it.
I got to watch. There's so many shows now, so many great TV right now that
Mad Men I think stands above. The last season's coming up, and they got their work cut out from it because they got a lot to live up to. But if you're gonna binge watch now that they call it stuff,
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait till it's over and then.
Did you ever see that, John? Did you ever watch it?
No.
I think you'd love it. Yeah. It's just so on the money. But how old are you?
I'm 40.
Okay, so I'm 40. I'm 46, and it's about the same generation. But you get to follow. It's a history lesson too. Like you see what's going on in the world through the eyes of Madison Avenue, which is the best way to do it. I mean, the late 50s, 60s, all that happened, Vietnam. Now they're just getting into the 70s.
Oh, okay,
which is cool. And the last season's going to be.
So it does trans. I always thought it was just like what you see.
It's a history lesson. Like
that's
you see,
really
like,
cool.
and they
change with the times and everything. That's really cool. I got to watch that. I did a lot of binge. Like I just binge watch Homeland, all 3 seasons in like a month.
Me and my girl did that. Yeah.
But season 3, did you get through the whole thing?
Season 3 it kind of went downhill.
Huh?
There's a couple of.
I think they ran out of.
A couple of shows went downhill. It's hard to keep up.
But those first 2 were amazing.
Yeah, most great sitcoms in history, like even stuff I love, like The Odd Couple. The last year kind of lacked a little bit.
Yeah.
Seinfeld did it right. He
Taxi
said I want to get out.
They got out. Yep.
Taxi got out. Seinfeld got
MASH
out.
hung on too long.
MASH hung on way too long.
First 3 seasons are the best. When McLean Stevenson left, all gone.
Cancel it. They bring in political correctness. The new guy won't cheat on his wife.
Yeah, dude,
come on.
I
so agree with that. Can we say that? The first 3 seasons of MASH, amazing. Afterwards, it's like a C level sitcom.
Really was. It was.
PJ Honeycutt for the other guy, Wayne Rogers. Terrible.
It was amazing, like how good Trapper was and how good McLean
How about
Stevenson
this?
was.
As soon as Jamie Foxx ain't wearing a dress,
Frank Burns when he left, he was great.
Jamie Foxx is not wearing a dress anymore. I don't want
Jamie Foxx.
No,
he actually is wearing a dress. Jamie Farr wasn't wearing a dress.
I mixed up everybody tonight. Jamie Farr. As soon as Jamie Farr takes off a dress, I don't want to watch that.
Who cares?
Anymore. Yeah,
right. He was great when he would stand guard and like.
Not a lot of people. And what does he leave for? McLean Stevenson leaves for Hello, Larry.
He thought he was going to be a big star. He thought he was bigger than the show, and he wasn't. And Wayne Rogers jumped with him. He was like, yeah, we need more money. We need to be able to focus. And they were like, it's all or you guys can walk.
Wayne Rogers went for a show called House Calls, right?
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. Sure. Those guys were great. McLean Stevenson, when he played the drunk, he played as good of a drunk as anybody in the. I mean, his drunk was as up there with Foster Brooks.
And him and Radar.
We're
great together. And look, Harry Morgan. He's a great actor. I love him, but he wasn't right for that role.
No, he wasn't.
You need,
I don't know. I'd like to know the real story, like how they went from like the real in depth of how they said, okay, we no longer have McLean Stevenson. What are we gonna do? And they went like 360 on the whole thing. They just totally.
That's what they did with everything. They had Winchester instead of Frank Burns, another 360, and Loretta Swit's not getting banged by anybody.
Yeah,
and
she became like nice.
And then Alan Alda starts directing stuff again, like he's Stanley Kubrick,
right?
And
with like the flashbacks
and there's all messages, politically correct messages.
Dr. Sidney Friedman, dude, the best character in that whole show, Colonel Flag.
Yeah, I love him.
He was because he was the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, well, you wanted more of him.
He was great. He was always, you think I'm Colonel Flag. He'd like break his own arm and then blame it on like a guy in a hospital bed.
He's a scary
Jason,
guy.
did you go back and watch these after the fact?
Yeah, I grew up with the reruns. My dad was a MASH.
Right.
MASH.
I did that too.
Because you're 40, I'm 39,
Yeah.
and my parents watched it all the time.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't see it
but
when
I
it was
had
on.
no idea.
Oh, I watched it really.
You've
I watched
memorized every episode.
That's all we
apparently.
watched. Like
I loved MASH, and then it really was disappointing.
And I used to remember, like, as I got a little older, as like a preteen, thinking, man, and I started getting things, and I'm like, this old man stinks. What happened to the other guy? My dad told me. He's like, well, he left. He like left the series because I knew I was smart enough to know that he didn't die in a helicopter crash.
Right.
In real life.
What? I don't know. This is probably not a successful show. that I'm doing here. But I guarantee there's no one else having this conversation right now. We're going to take a break, and we'll talk a little bit about the show Maude. And that's season 5.
That's hilarious.
Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Everybody texting me that they love Mrs. Doubtfire. Some of their TVs are out, so I'm texting them pictures.
Yeah, I had some friends saying that they...
Very Barbara Bushy. Very Barbara Bushy.
There you go. Because she's quite a woman. We had crumpets together one time with Georgie that invited her over the house, and it was quite a...
Over what house?
The White House. Which one do you think I'm talking about? When D.C.
Oh, so you're doing Barbara Bush now, but why are you English?
No. He was invited over by
Mrs. Bush,
President Bush,
the First Lady. She invited me
and
for crumpets.
Barbara.
And does she, for crumpets?
Yes. It was nice.
How fast do you think this guy eats the crumpets if you invite him over?
Oh, no. I'm quite a lady with crumpets, Arthur, because they're delicate like me, and, you got to eat them with a salad fork or, no, wait, it could be a spoon.
No, wait.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
No, wait.
Do you think? Listen,
Doubtfire.
Doubtfire. I know. Sorry, Mrs. Doubtfire. Everyone's commenting.
Drive-by fruiting.
Everyone's commenting on how beautiful you are as a woman.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah, well...
I mean, a lot of people have been saying that. I know I've been saying that. A lot of other people have been mentioning
it's a real step up.
I haven't heard anyone.
There is a very real possibility that dressing like this
That's true.
could help you with the ladies.
No,
Mike, you always say you need money. You know how much money there is in guys who dress like you giving oral to other guys?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Who likes their work, Mike? Rarely do people
You don't
like
have
their
to
work.
like it.
Yeah.
It's a job.
It's not being gay. It's just you giving oral to guys for money.
It's changing for the other team, and I won't stand for that.
Okay,
because-
well, if you're dead set against that, what about dressing this way daily to
get sex.
Yeah.
Now, what about
Would you go that far? Because I think it could work. You are so attractive.
I want to
this
play
way.
Frankenfurter, Arthur, and
Well, stop beating Frankfurters.
Okay.
Who's Frankenfurter?
Oh, from Rocky Horror.
Oh, from Rocky. Well, the word horror comes to mind.
It sure does, Arthur, because you're quite a celebrity in London, Arthur. We love you. Come back because the Crown wants you to perform for them.
The Crown?
Yes, that's right. They think you're genius.
Crown Candy in St. Louis?
No, Arthur. The Crown. You know where we all started and cut you guys loose.
Jason, how do you feel that Mike's going to do with the Mrs. Doubtfire character on the road? Do you feel he can get jobs at clubs?
San Fran only. That's it.
Punchline.
Beacon Hill and San Fran, that's all you're getting.
Cobb's.
Yeah, Cobb's, exactly.
Well, what do you think about that, Mike? Are you willing to pursue a career in stand-up as Mrs. Doubtfire?
Of course, Arthur. As long as the Benjamins come rolling in, who cares where they're coming from?
I got a feeling it's going to cost you money.
It might in the beginning, but who knows?
How long will you tolerate it costing you money? How much money are you willing to lose for the sake of art?
Oh, not much, Arthur, because
Not much, I figured
a
that.
couple of shillings here and there, but
Shillings?
Yes, that's right. Shillings,
Do they still call them shillings?
Yes, we do where I'm from. I'm from like...
Well, you know what you could lose? A couple of pounds.
Arthur, don't insult the lady in her weight. It's not right.
I'm talking about money, jerk off, not weight.
Oh, no, I thought it was you're talking about my...
Pounds is English.
Oh, yes, it is. I thought you were talking about my boobage, Arthur.
Yeah, who did those? It looks like they're...
The good guy upstairs made them for me, Arthur. The good Lord made them because they're quite large, Arthur.
They're kind of floppy.
No, never
awfully
insult the lady
pointy.
because Dan said they were nice. He's been winking at them all night.
Winking at your boobage?
Dan, have you been winking at his boobs?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
That's me.
Sounds like it's...
I did say he
I
looks
thought it was
better as a woman than a
I
man.
thought it was a twitch.
Exactly. Mike, that's what we're saying.
That was the
you
first
look
thing-
so good.
That's
this
what they're
could be
subtly trying
the
to tell you.
new
No,
you.
I think that the surgery is in Obamacare. You might want to do it.
God got
If you
something
want to
wrong
keep
with
your
me.
old penis, you can, if you're happy with it. But listen, Mike. That's as political as my comedy gets.
Arthur,
Mike, what they're saying is, I don't know if they're saying you look great as a woman or horrible as a man.
It could vary, Arthur, because I don't know. Take it with a grain
I
of
think
salt,
he has more of a
you know.
chance of picking a woman now than
Yes,
he did as a
that's
man.
exactly. You should try it, Mike.
Because I don't
You
know.
should try it.
I might, because maybe I'll score some skanks and
Because I don't
have a good
know.
time.
Well,
Maybe you'll score
would you do that? Would you try?
Yeah, why don't you do that, Mike? Let's take you out to Washington Square
I
Park.
think we should put a camera on
Dress
that,
like this and see what happens.
and you try to pick up chicks like that.
Yes, it would be quite amazing because I think I'll get some bimbos, some skanky whores downtown because I know where to find them, Arthur, because Mike told me where they are.
Are you willing to pay for hookers?
It depends on the cost, Arthur, because I don't want to go too far.
What if we go into
because-
What if we go into petty cash and buy you a whore?
Nice. Yes, Arthur, because can I pick her out?
Well, yeah, of course. Pig her out.
Now.
That's
She
a
have
term
big
I'm
ones,
not
Arthur,
familiar
because
She can have big ones.
nice.
We're gonna buy you a whore. The Artie Lange Show. Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show. Let me say this. Thanks to French Quarters Guest Apartments for being our New York City hotel. Let them be your headquarters in New York City. Go to FrenchQuartersNY.com to book your next stay. That's FrenchQuartersNY.com to book your next stay. Jason Lawhead is here. He will be doing Access Live at Gotham. Gotham Live on the Access Network for Mark Cuban tomorrow at Gotham, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Show I've done before. It's amazing. And what else you got going on? You on the road? You going on?
I'm on the road. We're actually, I don't want to say anything right now, but myself and two other guys, Paul Verzi. You know Paul Verzi.
Great comic. Had him on here.
Love
a bunch
Paul.
Of times, yeah.
And a good buddy of mine, Joe Bartnick, out of Pittsburgh. He's in L.A. He started his stuff.
I think I might know Joe.
Big Italian guy. Looks like
Joe
looks like Sylvester Stallone if he was 6'4". And he's great. He's
know him.
part of the Rose Bowl crew.
I've worked with a bunch of guys from Pittsburgh, and for some reason I went to Pittsburgh. I always work with local guys.
Yeah.
They had a lot of local funny guys. Middle and open.
Yeah, he never started in Pittsburgh though. He left. He went to San Fran, cut his teeth there, and now he's an LA guy. But he's done a lot of stuff with like Playboy Radio and different stuff, and he's really funny. But anyway, the thing is Verzi, Bartnick, and myself will periodically open for Burr a lot.
Yeah, right.
So we're planning a tour. We're trying to get some dates now where us three are going to go out, kind of promoted by Bill and his podcast. Is like, hey, go see these guys. Send us into some cities. I think they're going to try maybe 7 to 10 cities first to see how we sell, and hopefully we can get some stuff. But
that sounds like a fun tour, a fun time.
Yeah, doing some other stuff. I'm doing a fundraiser coming up. We're trying to narrow down a date for a young girl with brain cancer out there, and my dad's a 2-time survivor, so that's something.
2-time survivor.
My dad survived two cancers. He dropped of a heart attack the day Ohio State played Kansas in a Final Four 2 years ago.
Wow.
I think he had a stroke one day that he just walked off.
He's like a survivor, man.
He's done. So I've done stuff with him before. He was 77 years old. He is, and he never had to worry about a medical bill in his life, and he survived. He had a great life had he not survived it.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm going to try to do every year for the rest of my career is somebody like a kid that needs medical bills. And so we're working with a family. Myself, I'm working with a guy that's working with a family down in the San Diego area where I kind of moved first, and that's kind of my second city for comedy. And try to do something nice and put together a show. So I'm talking to a couple clubs, and we're trying to get like an auction type thing going where we can donate some stuff.
Can you stick around while we talk to Kenny Albert from the Olympics?
I would love to,
man.
Stick
around. We'll talk to Kenny.
Are you kidding me?
That's good stuff.
Thanks.
Jason Lawhead's going to stick around.
Thanks.
When we'll come back, the great Kenny Albert from Sochi.
Yeah.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.